Good afternoon, children. Welcome to the science class. In the last class, we were studying the lesson number 8, structure and function of living organisms, plants. So, under this chapter, we studied in the last class, we studied about the modifications of the stem. Now, after learning the modifications of the stem, so today we'll move on to the next part of the shoot system, that is the flower. Yes. So now, what is flower, children? Flower. We see different types of flowers in the plants, and these flowers they differ in their shape, size, and the smell. So now, when we see the flower is colorful, it is beautiful, it is attractive, and some flowers are scented, they have good aroma. Okay, so this is about the flower. So now, how can we define a flower? So the flower is colorful, beautiful, scented, attractive, part of the plant. It is the attractive part of the plant. So this is the definition of the flower. We can define the flower as it is colorful, beautiful, scented and attractive part of the plant. So now when we see the flower, children, so now we'll move on to the structure of the flower or the parts of the flower. Parts of a flower. When we take up the flower, now here I have taken the hibiscus flower. In the hibiscus flower, we can observe the four rings or four parts. Okay, so these rings which are present in a flower, we call it as the holes. Okay, so how many rings or holes are present in the hibiscus flower? There are four. Four holes or four rings are present. So one by one we are going to study the four rings of the flower. So the first ring of the flower is the sepal. The first ring is the sepal. Now the sepal is a first part or the first ring in the flower. Here you can observe this sepal. Okay. Now before moving on to the first ring, now you think suppose this is the stem. To the stem we can observe the flower is attached through a long filament like structure or a long structure. This is called as pedicel, thin like structure. To this pedicel you can observe the first part of that is the sepal. This is sepal, and you can observe a small bud is present here, children. Okay, so this is leaf-like structure. The leaf-like structure which is green in color, this is called as sepal. And okay, this will be closed. Just I have to show to you. I have just expanded. Okay, the sepal is green in color. It is leaf-shaped structure and it protects the bud. So what is the first that is the function of the sepal? The function of the sepal is to protect the bud. Okay, children, I think you understood. The sepal is leaf green in color and it protects the bud before the bud blooms. Okay, so now we'll move on to the second, that is the second orle or the second ring of the flower. This is the second ring is the petals. We call this as second ring. second ring. Okay. The second ring is the petal, and the petal is colorful. It is brightly colored, and it is also scented, and it is having a good aroma. And why it is colorful, why it is scented, why? Because the function this petal is to attract the insects, children, to attract the insects for the process of pollination. You have read in 4th standard what is pollination. Okay, so I'll just, after the structure of the flower, we are going to learn in detail the pollination process. So the second ring is, it is brightly colored. It is brightly colored, and it is scented, and okay, and what is the function? The main function of the petal is to attract the insects. To attract the insects for the process of pollination. So now we'll move on to the third ring. The third ring of the flower. What is the third ring of the flower, children? Yes, the third ring of the flower is the stamens. The third ring of the flower is the stamens. So, this is the third ring. The third ring of the flower, we call it as stamens, and this is also called as male, M-A-L-E. See here, in the word itself you can observe stamens, men is there here, M-E-N, men. Can you see? Stamen, men means male part. So you have to remember in that manner. In the name itself is given stamens. Stamens, it is the male part of the flower. Yes, stamens, it is the third ring of the flower, and it is the male part of the flower. Now each stamen has a bag-like structure. Now you can observe, it is like a bag-like structure. It is like a bag-like structure. It is a stamen, children. Okay. Now each stamen, this is one stamen I have drawn here. Each stamen has a bag-like structure. You can observe this is a bag-like structure. It is called as anther. It is called as anther. And here you can observe the long tube-like. It is tube-like structure. This is called as filament. This is called as filament. Now in the anther you can observe the pollen grains are present. What are present, children? In anther, that is anther, it is a bag-like structure. It contains, okay, it produces, what it contains? It contains the pollen grains. Pollen grains, okay. So these pollen grains take part in the reproduction. They take part in the reproduction. So filament, what is the function of the filament, children? It gives support. It is giving the support to the anther. Okay, children? Yes? So once again I'll repeat, listen. Stamens. Stamen is the third ring of the flower. It is the male part of the flower. We call it as the male part of the flower. And each stamen has two parts. Each stamen has two parts. Okay. Now it has a bag-like structure that is called as anther. And this anther is attached to a long tube-like structure. Okay. And it is called as filament. This filament, it gives support to the anther. And this anther, it produces pollen grains. So these pollen grains, the pollen grains, they help in the process of reproduction. They help in the process of reproduction. That means they take part in the reproduction. Okay, this is about the third ring, stamens. Now we move on to the fourth ring. Fourth ring. So how many I told you? In hibiscus flower we are going to observe the 4 rings. 3 rings are finished. Now we'll move on to the fourth ring of the flower. So the fourth ring is called as pistil. Pistil. We call it as what we call, children? Pistil or carpel. Pistil or carpel. So this is the fourth ring, okay, or the fourth ring of a flower. This is the fourth ring of a flower. Now the pistil or the carpel, okay, it is the female part. What it is? Female part of the flower. It is the female part of the flower. Now, this female part of the flower, it consists of 3 parts. The female part of the flower, it consists of 3 parts, children. Okay. Now, we can observe in this the top structure. This is the stigma. What is this? It is sticky in nature. Stigma and a long tube-like structure. This is in the middle. Now stigma is at the top. Stigma is at the top. Now this is the style. What we call, children? Style. Style is in the middle. Style is in the middle. And here you can observe the ovary, the round structure. Okay. So this is the ovary. Where it is present? The ovary at the base. It is present at the base. Okay. Here you can observe the sepal. Yes. Yes. So ovary is present at the base. Okay. Now inside this ovary, small round like structures are present. They are called as ovules. Ovules. Okay. I think till here you have understood the 4 parts of the flower. The fourth one is the pistil or carpel. It is the female part of the flower. The stigma at the top. It is having the 3 parts, children. That is stigma, style and ovary. Pistil is having 3 parts. Stigma, style, ovary. Stigma is at the top. Style is in the middle and ovary is at the base. And these ovary inside you can observe the small round like structures, ball like structures are present. These are the ovules are present. Okay. So this is the structure of the flower. So till here you have learned what is the structure of the flower. Now in this diagram you can observe clearly all the 4 parts. Once again I am going to explain the structure of the flower. The first part you can observe the pedicel. The pedicel is the long thin structure which is attached to the stem. This is the pedicel, and here when we see the parts of the flower, there are 4 rings in the flower and these are arranged in the form of a ring. So we call them as whorls. The first whorl of the flower is the sepal. The sepal is green in color and it forms a whorl, and the function, what is the function of this sepal, children? To protect the bud. To protect the bud before it blooms. So next, coming to after the sepal, coming to the next whorl. The next whorl is the petal. The petal is colorful, it is attractive and it is scented. Okay, so this is also arranged in the form of a ring. So now after this we have the third whorl. Here you can observe the third whorl. These are the third whorl is nothing but the stamen. The stamen, it is having the two parts, that is anther and filament. Anther, it is a bag-like structure. Okay, and this anther is being attached to a long tube-like structure. This is called as filament, and filament gives, it provides support to the anther. And inside the anther we can observe in the bag-like structure anther, it produces pollen grains, and these pollen grains, they take part in the reproduction. Okay. Now when coming to the fourth whorl, here you can observe the fourth whorl of the flower is the pistil or carpel. This carpel, it is the female part of the flower. Female part of the flower, and this it contains, okay, it consists of three parts: the stigma, the style, and the ovary. Where they are present, stigma is at the top and it is sticky in nature. The style is a long tube-like structure, and the ovary is present at the base. And inside the ovary we can observe small ball-like structures, and these are called as ovule. These are called as ovule. Okay, so this is the structure of the flower. Yes. Now after learning the structure of the flower, I'll show you the flower. Then we'll move on to the next topic, children. Now here you can observe, this is the hibiscus flower. Okay. Now when we see the hibiscus flower, here you can observe the small stalk. Yes. So this small stalk that is attached to this single flower. So this is the single flower and it is attached to the single flower. Okay. Now what is the function of this stalk or pedicel? Pedicel or the stalk. Okay. This, it helps to support the flower. It helps to support the flower to put in a position so that, okay, so it gives the support to the flower. Now here you can observe the first whorl of the flower. Here it is in the form of a ring. This is the sepal. What is this, children? The sepal. The first ring, which is green in color, and it protects the bud. And the next one, this is the second whorl. You can observe the second whorl of the flower. It is in a ring-like structure, and this is the petals. The petal is colorful, it is beautiful, and it is attractive, and it is scented to attract the insects. And the third one, you can observe the third one, that is the third part. The third one is the stamen. Here you can observe, children, the stamen. So see here this stamen is also like it forms like a ring. Yes, so we call it as the whorl. Here you can observe the yellow color or orange color filament, the stamen. One by one, many stamens are present here. Here one, when we take up the one stamen, okay, here you can observe at the top, you can observe the yellow color. This is bag-like structure. It is the anther, and the thin long tube-like structure. Okay, this is the filament. Okay, it gives it is supporting the anther. It gives support to the anther, and these yellow colored okay, the anther, it produces pollen grains. Now coming to the fourth whorl, you can observe that the top, children, at the top you can observe these are also in the form of a whorl. Okay, these are also in the form of whorls. At the top you can observe this is the stigma, which is sticky in nature. This is stigma. Okay, stigma is present at the top, and here you can observe the style. This is the style. From the stigma you can observe the style. This is the long tube-like structure. This is the style, and the ovary is present at the bottom. When I remove this petals, okay, you can observe it clearly. If you have the hibiscus flower in your home, okay, you can just open and you can observe it. Yes, here you can observe the ovary. Can you see, children? The ovary is present here. Yes, the white structure you can observe here. Slightly you can observe. This is the ovary which is present at the base. Okay. Now, yes, now you have learnt the structure of the flower. Now we'll move on to the next part you are going to learn is the pollination process. Now, pollination, how the pollination takes place. Yes, pollination means, what is pollination? You have learnt in the lower classes. What is pollination? Yes, the transfer of pollen grains. That is the pollen grains from anther to the stigma to the stigma of the flower is called as pollination. Yes, the transfer of pollen grains. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a flower. What it is called, children? It is called pollination. Yes. So what is pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a flower is called pollination. Now, in the hibiscus plant, we can observe both the male and female part of the female parts. Okay. So, in the other flowers, in most of the flowers will be having only male part, or either it may be having female part. We can observe this both the male and the female in hibiscus flower, in the rose flower. In the papaya flower you can observe only the male part or the female part of the flower will be present. Now when we see this transfer, now when the pollen grains from anther, you have observed the anther part. Now here you see here, this is the anther. It produces the pollen grains. These pollen grains, when these pollen grains are transferred to the stigma, when they are transferred to the stigma, how they are transferred? It may be by the insects, by the butterflies, okay, by the insects, or by the birds, or by the wind, or through water. So these pollen grains are being transferred. So when it is transferred, what happens? Then it starts germinating. Now when the stigma, when it receives the pollen grains, okay, it starts germinating. And when it starts germinating, what happens? Now here inside we can observe the pollen grains. You think the pollen grains have reached to the stigma through the water or wind or air or through the insects. Now inside the style we have pollen tube, children. A pollen tube is present. Okay. So the pollen grains which are present here, yes, these pollen grains, they pass through this pollen tube. They pass through this pollen, through the style, and they reach the ovary. And the ovary, yes, The ovary contains, I told you, the ovary contains ovules. Yes. So here the pollen grain, it fuses, the one of the pollen grains, it fuses with the ovules. It fuses with the ovules. Okay, the reproduction takes place when the male part and the female part, they fuse together. They fuse together, the reproduction in plant takes place. Okay, as it reproduces, what happens? The reproduction takes place. Yes, this ovary, the part which is, that is the ovary, it starts as it becomes, okay. So day by day, day by day, what happens? It goes on swelling, and this changes into a fruit. It changes into a fruit, and the remaining ovules which are present in this ovary, they become, they future, in future they become the seeds of the fruit. So here the flower changes into a fruit. The flower changes into a fruit, children. So this ovary which is present, I think everyone have understood this. The ovary which is present, I am going to repeat again. Listen, how the reproduction takes place. Okay, once again listen. As the stigma receives the pollen grains, okay, these pollen grains pass through the style and reach the ovary. The pollen grain fuse with the ovule, okay, and it forms, the reproduction takes place. After the reproduction, what happens? The ovary starts, okay, it start bulging, and in future it starts growing into a flower. It starts growing into a fruit, children. Okay, this reproduction, there is, when you move on to the 7th standard, you have in detail, you are going to learn how the reproduction takes place, how the flower is changed into a fruit. Okay, here just I am giving the idea for you. Okay, so now then when it starts, when the flower changes into a fruit, the petals, everything will, they dry up and they fall down, and this starts growing, and this starts bulging, and it slowly it changes into a fruit. And the remaining ovules which are present in the ovary, they change into, they become the seeds in the flower, in the fruit. Okay, so this is the reproduction, that is the flower changes into fruit. This takes place in the that is the reproduction in the flower. Now after learning this, yes, till now we have read the parts of the flower and the pollination process and the reproduction, how it takes place. Now we are moving to the functions of the flower. So now till now we read that what are the functions of a flower, children? So flower, it acts as a organ. It acts as a organ of reproduction. Reproduction, you know that it is reproduction. Yes, producing the same kind of its own. Okay, so reproducing one same plant, they are reproducing the same plant, yes, of its own. Now as the flower changes into fruit, and in the fruit you can observe the seed. When the seed, again the same seed, when it is sown in the soil, you will get a same plant. So this flower, it acts as a reproduction. It acts as a reproduction part of the plant. Okay, so we call it as organ of reproduction. And here now it grows. The flower changes. You have to remember, children, the flower changes into fruit. The flower changes into fruit, and inside the fruit we can observe the seeds are present. Yes, when these seeds are sown into the soil, you will get a new plant, seed. Yes, So now we'll move on to the second function of the flower. Now as we know that the flowers in your daily in your puja room, your mother will be using the flowers, okay, and the flowers which are grown in the your home, your garden. Yes, why? Because for its beautiful fragrance, for the to offer to the god, and as they have the beautiful fragrance, okay children, they are kept in the flower vase so that they are looking beautiful, and they for the fragrance we are keeping for the as a decorative process, for decoration we are using the flower for the decorative process, for the decorative purpose we are using the flower in our home, okay. And these flowers are also, they even some of the flowers are very, as they are very attractive, we call them as ornamental flowers. So now after that we are moving to the third one. From the flowers they are what they are doing, they are extracting and they are preparing the perfumes, or we call it as scents. Yes, so some of the flowers, which are the flowers which are used to okay, so through which we are getting the perfume or the scent. So which are the flowers we are using, children? We are, I think everyone know that the rose. So rose is being used, the jasmine is being used, next lavender, and the koira. You have learnt in the fourth standard, the koira flower. Okay, so these are the four flowers we have been using for to yield the perfumes or the scents. Yes, so now the next function of the flower, as you all know that when you are getting a cough or cold, your mother gives you the clove to just to chew it, so that the dryness which is present in the itchiness which is present in the neck region, just it be released and you will be out from the cough, okay. So the clove is nothing but it is used as a spice in our daily diet. Yes, the clove is nothing but the dried flower. It is a flower, children. It is the flower, the dried flower. This is the dried, this is the clove. It is a dried flower, and these are the buds. We call them as the buds of the clove plant. So it is often used as a spice, and it acts like a medicine also. It acts as a medicine to cure the cough and cold. Okay. So these are the four functions of the flower. Okay. Yes, the first function is it acts as a reproductive part in the plant, and this flower changes into fruit, and fruits it has the seeds in it, and this seed when it is sown in the soil you will get a new plant. Next, the flowers are being used as for the decorative purpose, and it is also with the flowers, okay, they are preparing the perfumes or the scents. Next, the clove which we are getting, okay, the clove is nothing but the dried flower bud of the clove plant, and it acts as a spice in our daily food that we are using. We just grind it and we just add it as a spice, and it is also acts as a medicine to cure the cold and cough. So now till here we have studied the flower, children, the parts of the flower, the function of the flower, and in the next class we are moving on to the next part of the shoot system, that is the seed, children. Okay, so try to read the textbook. If you get any hibiscus flower, just find out just see the parts of the flower and just find out whether it is having the ovary, style, stigma, the ovules. Just open one by one and find out, and you will get the different parts. Okay, so now here I'll just show you the last one. Yes, here just slowly you wide open you can observe the ovary, children. Here you can observe the ovary. Yes. Here I just wanted to show you the pollen tube. I told you in the style region there is a pollen tube which is present inside the style. Here can you see here? This is connected to this ovary. Okay, just I got it removed. Here can you see? This one I have removed here. Yes, this is the, when you slightly remove it in this manner, you will get the pollen tube, children. You just remove like this and you can observe. This is the pollen tube. Yes, you have to slowly have to remove or else you can't observe it. Yes, it's very delicate. You have to remove it very slowly. Here you can observe, children, this is the pollen tube through which the pollen grains from the stigma passes through the style and it reaches the ovary. This part has been cut. Okay, here I couldn't show you. Yes, this ovary, this ovary will be connected to this pollen tube. In this manner it will be connected, children. Yes, you just take a hibiscus, it will be connected like this. The pollen grains, they reach to the ovary. They reach to the ovary and they fuse together and the fertilization takes place. And as the fertilization takes place, what happens? This ovary which is present at the bottom, yes, it starts bulging and it changes into a fruit. All the petals will dry. Okay, will dry. Yes, I think everyone are clear with this pollen tube. Just I want to show till the, we'll see whether we can reach to the stigma. I think we are able to reach. Yes, children, slightly we have to remove it. Yes, this pollen tube is connected from the stigma. Here slightly you have to open. Okay, I think the connection is cut here because I couldn't get. Yes, it is connected to the, slightly you have to remove here. Remove the, here you can observe the powdery form. These are the pollen grains, the powdery form, yellow color powdery form which are present. These are the pollen grains. So these pollen grains will be transferred to the stigma of the flower, maybe of the same flower or they may be from one flower to the different flower. So when the stigma, when the pollen grains reaches the stigma, it will be germinated and these pass through the style, through this pollen tube, children. So this is the pollen tube. You can observe the pollen tube here. Okay, so this is the pollen tube. Okay, children, so now we have completed the flower part of the shoot system. In the next class we will move on to the next part, that is the seed and the fruit. Okay, thank you, children.